Well, good afternoon, Fernando.
Good afternoon.
What you got going on, man?
Nothing.
That's the leaves. They're like it's
who's
driving.
walking?
Yeah, the leaves are going crazy back there. Well, hey guys, what is happening? Check it out. So in the install bay today is a Porsche Boxster.
I thought that was an F-150.
Could be an F-150. However, the Porsche is right up there. I mean, granted, we don't do as many as the F-150, but we do quite a few Porsches. I guess that's what happens when you do a video or two. Anyways, what we got going on, this is a Boxster. And well, let's start out with what's going inside of it. We got a set of Focal Flax 3-ways going up into the dash. It is going to be active. So we have a Rockford T402 and a 404. The 404 is going to run the tweeter and the mid-range. The 402 is going to run the mid-bass. We have a DSR1 that is going to do all our direction for us. It's getting this DMX 475 in the dash. He went and had his dash bezel painted to match. All his pieces are painted, so we've already got that in and out of the way. We had to relocate down the air conditioner. What you got?
It's a DMX 47S.
Oh, that's not a 5? There you go. Anyways, short chassis, as you can see, which is awesome. But for this, you have to relocate the air conditioner because it had a singleton in the dash. So we've already mounted that down below. The other thing too is because this is like an 89, I think all the tape in the dash had all come off and was just a ball in the dash. So we pulled all that tape out and then we reapplied all new tape to it. And then, like I said, all his panel covers are painted to match. So he had these all painted as well. Let's fold those up in there. This is the only one I haven't taped up yet because I might be using these wires. I haven't decided yet. Anyways, so there you go. There's your air conditioner relocation pocket. That all comes in the metric kit, so it's really nice. The other thing that's cool about this is this uses a standard European harness, which these new Kenwoods have that same harness. So this has the same harness as the factory radio. We did add a backup camera. The laser's going. I'll talk about that in a minute. We did add a backup camera here. Let's see if I can do that. There you go. Which of course was lots of fun to do. Fernando was not a big fan of that, but it is in. As you can notice, this is up because in order to get the wires through, there is a spot right here. So you have to very carefully remove this up out of the way, and then you can get your wires into the car and run them. As you can see, he has his backup camera. And what we're doing is, there's a company, I believe it's called Sports Motor. Do you remember what it's called? We did a video on them once. Hold on, let me see. It is Euro Motor Speed. I don't want to show. So Euro Motor Speed makes these 3.5-inch plates. This is metal with grills to put rear speakers into where the pockets typically go. So there's like 2 little pockets that go back there. These things here. So you take those out. And then there's 2 Pioneer 3.5s that go into each side. So we're wiring those up right now, so we'll have some rear speakers. These are going to be powered off of the radio, just for rear effect. We can, because it's a Kenwood, I think this radio has time alignment, so we'll be able to add a little delay to them if we need to. I mean, they're just going to be coming off of the radio, so it's not like there's going to be that much power. There's going to be way more power. Now, up underneath the hood here, so he had the 6-disc changer, which is this, and then he had the amplifier here. So we're gonna make some form of an amp rack to fit the radio and whatnot. I'm sorry, the 2 amplifiers and possibly a 3rd amplifier down the road, because I think he said he found somebody that makes the subwoofer that goes over here, in which case we'll probably have to add like a T501 into the system. So we might also put the DSR1 back here just to make RCAs and all that a lot easier to run, but we'll get to that point in a little bit. Battery, yeah, that's what we got going on here today. Now the laser is running because it's a, oh, before I forget, tonight we're back on. So tonight on Facebook, we'll be up and doing our thing. Rear high level output of the radio wired down to 2 ohms per channel. No, it's not going to be wired down to 2 ohms per channel. You caught that, right? As you'll notice, what Fernando is actually doing over here is he's pulled these off because that's what it was from the get-go. It was 2 ohms. We don't want to run that 2 ohm. That radio sure is not going to handle that. We are actually going to rewire these to 8 ohm because they're, again, it's a rear effects channel and they're that far from your head. So we don't need a lot of power from these. We just need something. So yeah, good catch there. All right, so this is the factory funky grill. It has a tweeter, it has a mid-range, which is actually sitting right here. This, as you can see from, yeah, it's all dry rotted. This is all one piece, it comes right out. And what we've done is we're making this piece right here to attach to it. So our tweeter is going to sit in here like into this, the grill's still on it. So there's a slight edge beveled right here to make room for this bevel right here. That tweeter is going to go in there. We're going to have a second piece that's going to come over it. You'll notice this hole and this hole. It's going to screw on there. And then the mid-range, this little cute guy here, is obviously going to go in this piece. Now, what we haven't lasered yet, it's cutting out the driver's side because the driver and passenger are going to be different because we're adding this little beveled edge, this little tiny inset edge here, so the tweeter will sit flush when you put the top on it. So you have to do a passenger, you have to do a driver, and then we're going to switch out from 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch, and the 1/4 inch for the mid bass is going to go on this side so that we can lower the speaker down into the mount a little bit more, and then the 1/4 inch for the tweeter will go on this side so that it'll lock that tweeter in place, and then it'll all be attached, and we can use these 3 factory screw holes, these here and here, and put it all back together, and then we'll run all new wires because there's just 2 wires coming up here and put it into that. All right, so hang on, let me get to some of those questions real quick. Ah, did you hear that? The laser's done. Ooh, hold on. You gotta get this stuff out while it's hot, so that all the little pieces break out and whatnot. We learned that building all the wire rulers. If you don't get them while they're hot, all those little holes that are in the wire ruler would stick in. And trust me, if it's a pain in the butt when you got like 300 or 400 little things you got to pop out because you weren't fast enough. So we found that if you're going to pull it out right away. All right, there you go. So you can see that little bevel, in it. That's so the tweeter will fit flush inside of there. That's cool. Now we'll switch to 1/4 inch. The thing with acrylic is you never throw any of it away because you don't know what like, yeah, little pieces everywhere. So let's do this. All right, hang on. I'll flip this back around. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, nice speakers. Yeah, hey Dean, I want to get an install from Jaime. What's your input? Go for it. Jaime is a great guy. He does excellent work. He's a spectacular fabricator. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to consider him a friend. All right, let me go over here. Just make sure when you do, and say Dean at 5-star told me to call you. We pick on each other incessantly when we're at Knowledge Fest together, so. He calls me the gringo. All right, let's go over here. All right, so let's make sure we got enough room. All right, sorry, I want to get this one going. Oh man. All right, sometimes when you're lining up the plastic, it's like, because the piece is a little bit, here, let me show you what I'm talking about. So that the image, see how it's only a hair off there. If I slide it down, there is no question of the day today. The giveaway is thankfully over, so we don't have any more to give. It's all gone and done. All right, so that's that. Now we'll switch it to engrave. I'm sorry, we'll switch it to cut. So now what you'll see is those two pieces we were talking about are going to be cut out of themselves. So the inside here will be for the tweeter and the outside will be for the mid-range. And then we just hit go. Oh, wait, hey, cancel print. Oh, we want to cancel. Well, you got to change the thickness. This is thick black acrylic. All right, so we'll move that up. Good catch. Nothing sucks worse than trying to cut out for an 1/8 inch when you need a quarter. All right, let me go back here. Switch to C12 production in the house. If you guys don't follow him, you like to see cool car pictures, go check out C12 Productions here on Instagram. He does really awesome car show stuff. What kind of laser machine do you have? This is the Glowforge Plus, I believe. For the little stuff we do, it's pretty cool. If you're going to be doing bigger stuff, obviously, you know, you might want to spend $1,000 or $2 extra and get something a little bigger. Froze in the house, Mr. Drone. Recommend a not break budget DSP. The DSR1, like I just showed you, it's like $270. You can't beat that. Magic time. All right. Magic time means you press the magic button, you hear it spool up, and now it's gonna take care of our next two pieces. But yeah, the DSR1 is probably gonna be your most cost effective, you know, but as an iPad only DSP, which is kind of that's a good or bad. It just depends on how, I mean, you can use an Android phone. I don't recommend it. It sucks. So if you have an iPad, use that. If you'd like to do something that is not that, but more laptop based, then I would check out like the Ground Zero. What's it called? Mini? Ground Zero Mini?
608, yeah.
Yeah, 6 to 8.
4.8. I'm sorry.
4 to 8. Both of those are 4 to 8 DSPs. If you need something with more than 4, like if you're like you want front, rear, and sub input, that's where it's going to add to it. Then you're going to look like a DM608 or something like that. Have you used that configuration before? On what? On this car? Yeah, but this is the first time we've done it with the laser. Last time we did one of these, we didn't have a laser, so we handmade these panels, which wasn't as much fun. Hi, how you doing? Tech tip of the day. Tech tip of the day is proper planning. Do as much pre-planning as you possibly can before you start on the car. Prime example of this car, you know, we've done plenty of Porsches before, but it was a matter of, there was always, like, he wanted to have his kit dyed, and so we had to make sure we got the kit to him so he could go get it dyed. Just a lot of little things that are unforeseeable, like we didn't know when we pulled it apart. You know, you plan so that when the plan falls apart, you can hopefully get back on track. Like this morning when I pulled the radio out, part of the plugs behind the dash were cut, so soldered those all back together, replaced all the tape. It added an extra hour to the install, but in the end, hopefully we got back on track, we got back to what we were doing, and we'll be able to, you know, get it done when it needs to be. Do you find yourself making more speaker brackets with the laser over pre-made ones from Metro or PAC, or do you just make them when they don't make them? I think that's one of those situations where we thought we were making way more speaker brackets before we even had the laser. Would you agree? Mm-hmm. Just because PAC and Metra didn't have a great selection of them. Now Metra is definitely upping their game and coming out with a lot more. But the problem is that manufacturers have just, like, every car now has like a unique speaker, so it almost sucks. So plus nobody makes anything for tweeters. A lot of the times we're just making tweeter mounts. I guess at the end of the day, the nice thing about it is just having the ability to do whatever it is that needs to be done. Ooh, it's done again. And just making that install better. All right, let's flip it around. All right, let's open this up. All right, so in the back, it's like I feel like I'm working on a Betty Crocker Easy Bake Oven sometimes. All right, so there's our one piece. Pull this out, and there is our second piece. God, isn't that just slick as shit? I mean, that's, you know, to be honest, I mean, it's just cool. So this, the other thing too, like, see if you'll notice like how close those are, because it has to go on top of the speaker like this. Did I do that wrong? I might have done that wrong. Either way. I think I did that wrong.
The name of the machine is a Glowforge.
Glowforge Plus. Anyways, got this. We got this. This will go over the back of the tweeter and it sits like this. And then it'll go onto here and we'll use those factory holes and the tweeter will be locked in place. This, of course, is for the driver, not the passenger. So there's that. All right, and then you'll have both of those. Tweeter will be locked in. These holes here are for these bolts. We'll run bolts up through there and lock it all together. These pre-cut holes are also for more bolts. The bolts are here, I'm sorry. And then that'll all get locked in place. And we can take it in and out and service it easily. Is Nav TV the only option for my 2021 Silverado? Yes, because that's the new AVB. Not A2B, AVB. And yes, they're it. So you're going to pay the Zen Audio price, whatever it is. But I can tell you it's an awesome piece, you know. So right now, that's it. For next Christmas giveaway, I like to pay for install. Who do I talk to about that? Paul. Dean, one more time. The machine name. I'm sorry, hold on. So it's the Glowforge, and it's the Plus. They make 3 models. They make a Pro, they make a Plus, and they make a regular. The difference between a Pro and a Plus is the Pro has a slit right here so that you can slide the product through. So if you're doing a longer piece, but what we found is that because it knows when the store's open, because there's a magnetic switch here and a magnetic switch here. So if you take 2 little magnets and you tape them in place right here, then you can do it that way. The only thing is it doesn't have the slit in the back, so you're only still left with this area here, which is good or bad depending on how you want to look at it. Works for us. Thank you so much. Dean, I have a question. I need to have a Pioneer deck with Xmas radio and rear camera. 2004 Lexus. Can it be done in a day because I live in Orlando? It's a possibility. I'll have to do some research on it, make sure that what the Lexus has. But yeah, yeah. I mean, if it's just a radio and backup camera, more than likely we'll be able to get that done in a day. If we're not doing speakers, amps, and subs, then I don't see any reason why not.
Okay.
We just have to make sure what kind of interface it is, what year, make, and model, and all that fun stuff. Make sure we have all that fun stuff to get it done. Do you have tips to get rid of hissing sound out of tweeters, even if the gain is down? Better amps. It's going to be equipment. Whatever the source unit is feeding it, that's floor noise. So if you're getting floor noise, it's either coming from the amps, the radio, or the processor, whichever one you got in there that is noisy. There's no tips, tricks, or workarounds. It's just the equipment. It's one of those things. If it is, do you correctly set input gains? How do you on a DM608? Again, on the DM608, they do have the distortion light in the software. So disconnect it from the output to your device, play your test tones, and you can turn up the volume. You can also look at the input RTA so you can figure out where your high and low points are. So I would probably recommend playing pink noise first and looking at that input RTA on the input screen to see what the signal coming in looks like. Is it flat? Is it curved? Is there an EQ setting in there? Find your high points and use those as test tones with 0 dB to set your input gains. No problem. Say no since he put Xmas instead of Christmas. Jeff, you're a winner, Jeff. You're always going to be a winner in our books. All right, that's it. Hey, listen, guys, I got to get back to work. I got to get these speakers screwed together. It's been a long day. But the nice thing is we can continue this on tonight when we go over to Facebook and do Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Talk at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you guys tune in there. And if you can't, of course, you can always catch it tomorrow on the rebroadcast. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tonight.
Bye.
Bye. You're live, Fernando.
I'm not.
You're not dead.
It feels like it.
Feels like you're dead?
Yeah.
All right, check it out, guys. We are still trucking along on the Porsche. It's still here, the Boxster from yesterday. So if you didn't check out yesterday's Instagram TV, make sure you go check that out and get caught up to date there. But the speaker pods that I was working on yesterday are now done. So you have your Focal Flax Series drivers installed and ready to go. Fernando's adding on to his special sauce. So we have the labeled ends here. Apparently this one is not like, is this for the passenger or the driver? Did you label one and not the other?
That's passenger. No, this is
Oh. Okay. Anyways, so these are all set and ready to go into the car. It turned out rather nice. I didn't get a chance to show you what we had to do in the doors, but Fernando took some pictures, so I'm sure you'll be putting up pictures of the doors. That was a lot of fun. These are what's in there from the factory, this little 5 1/4 thing. So we made new brackets to fit the 6 1/2s. The amplifiers are, this is the amp rack we came up with. What we have is the 4.2 or 400.2 that is going to power the mid bass, the 400.4 which is going to do the tweeters in the mid range, and then the DSR1 is going to control all that, give us a nice 3-way set. There's no sub going in this as of right now. We're getting ready to bring these two harnesses to Gary. Hey, Gary. Together. Hey, Gary. So we're going to marry these, as Mark says. We're going to marry them together. So that ought to be fun there. The inside of the car, here's the hole. There's not much to see there for sure. Not much has changed in here because like we put the doors already back together. That's still that. So what we're doing is running tweeter wires over into here so that we'll have the wires that we need to run up to the amplifier. So that's really about it. So this amp rack, this is made out of 1/4 inch AB, not this AB, it's a 1/4 inch blown PVC. So it's 2 pieces. This it's not into place. As you can see, there's these 3 holes here. There's one here. And there's one underneath this. This will turn out of the way, and then there's a screw that goes up underneath this. So this will go back up into that, mount into place with 5 screws, and all the wiring. There's cool ground points over here. So these are our ground wires. They're all set and ready to go. The battery wires, there's a giant grommet right here. As you can see, that's going through the grommet. So we'll pull those up. Fernando will mount the 2 fuse holders there while I go back into the car and finish up the radio wiring. But that's what's happening on the Porsche. Lots of fun. You good? Is that what you, that's it? Oh, so you hear the laser in the background. We're making some more wire rulers. Apparently the blue and the green were the winter chicken dinner. So we are cutting out more blues and greens to ship off to Mobile Solutions so that you can pick up. So this is what they look like, of course, with the paper still on. So yeah, we got blues, and then so we're knocking out the blues. We got these. Haven't started the green yet, so this is it going. Yep. Of course, you never try to make sense of this thing. It just does what it wants. Yeah, and it's gonna come over here and it's gonna cut a hole. Whatever. We try not to pay attention to it. It'll make you go crazy for sure. The joys of a laser. But yeah, so that's what's happening here. I got nothing else.
Dean,
Yes.
on the 1/4 inch ABS, how much do you score the plastic to heat and bend 90 degrees?
How much heat do you apply? I mean, is that what it asked?
No, score. Like.
Oh, how do you score it? Really the score is there. Okay.
It's not necessary.
If it's not necessary, the score is more so that like if you try to use like something like this, it's just gonna burn off. If you try to use like a pencil, it's gonna burn off. So if you set your saw blade to like a 32nd of an inch, that you're just marking it. That works really well. If you want it to be like a really machined tight 90, then yes, you're gonna want to score it, and I would probably go in 1/8 of an inch. And then what that'll do is as you're heating it up, the two will overlap each other. But for the most part, we don't do that unless we don't really do that much anymore. But if we really need it,
do.
yeah, you do it more so on the fuse holders and whatnot.
16 is fine.
Yeah, but I usually just do it just so I have a line to bend at. That's it. Oh, so what's it doing now? Ooh, it's on the last process. It's cutting out the lines. There you go. Look at that. Just cutting out the lines nice and slowly. Yeah, it's gonna go over there and find some more lines. It's like a drunk barber just cutting your hair. Oh, you need some over here, some over there. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never met one of those.
Drunk barber? It's kind of cold here today, so we're both wearing our zipper hoodies.
Yeah.
You can pick yours up at Teespring/stores/5-star. There you go. Hello, how are you?
They don't make a T-harness for these cars?
For the Porsche. Not at any place that is like easy to find. There are some like weird places like forums and stuff like that where they have managed to find the harness and import them, but it's not like anyone that would make them in an affordable manner. So I can believe the T-harness for this car, which is like $150 or something like that. So most people aren't going to down for a 25-year-old car putting in a 150. I mean, whatever works for you. I mean, you can do it. Solder is an amazing thing, though. Morning from Australia. Hey. Thanks for getting me back in car audio. Oh, wow. No problem. I cut my own hair, but I'm not drunk when I do it.
That was awesome.
I don't know, Bobby. I don't know. I can see you doing it. Parking my car, baby. Parking my car. I'm usually half asleep, so it's all the same. Yeah. What's the trick to get the paper off of the wire ruler? There's a trick. And I will show you. So I happen to have a yellow wire ruler right here, and I have another. I'm gonna pass this phone over to Fernando. You're gonna have to pull it down. So you gotta pull it down.
And
now you can flip it. All right, you good?
All right.
All right. So these are the two pieces that come with it. Obviously, the paper's already off this one, but it really doesn't matter. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take this flat edge right here, and you're going to go like this, okay? And you're just gonna. And once you start doing it, it's gonna peel up, and you just keep using that edge. The nice thing about acrylic is acrylic doesn't scratch acrylic. So you can just keep working your way up the ruler like this. And just take your time, don't rush it. A lot of little pieces. And you just keep going. And then when you get into the see it just comes right off. Good to go.
Hawaii. Aloha.
Oh, hey. One of these days I'll get to go back there. I've paid for the plane ticket.
Maybe next year, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So anyway, you just keep slowly but surely rolling up, and then once you get this one done, you switch and do, the short one. But just be careful. Always keep your finger here where you're pushing. You don't want to accidentally,
Yeah, you don't want to do this.
Yeah,
like have it in here because you're gonna break it.
Hold it in your hand like this, and just, as you're pushing it up, as you can see, my fingers are up behind it like this, and then you just keep going. Keep wiping the edge off. That'll keep all your glue. And then if you turn it just a little bit, we'll just keep going here.
Hey, from Cali.
Yeah. All right. So, and the nice thing that is one of the nice things about acrylic is that it doesn't scratch itself.
Let me see. So you guys can see it's no scratch.
Yeah, no scratch at all. No scratch on the edge. Yeah, still clean.
Oh, nice.
Well, I could just do this. Hold on, we'll do the easy side. And we'll pull it off. And
yeah, okay.
Oh, there we go. I got it. Haha. Oh. Come on, man.
You fire.
No, I got it. I got it in one piece. So then you hold it up to the light, and you can see there's no scratches. Beautiful thing. Oh.
Perfect.
That's it. That's all you got to do. If there's any residue goo on there, a little soapy water will get it right off.
Yeah, or your fingers, you just like...
Or your fingers, just rub it. You know, pretend like you got a booger on your finger and you can't get it off.
Really? That's how it works?
I guess. Now, of course, you're going to make me finish cleaning all this off.
In this episode of Cleaning You Tools.
Yep, so there you go. So that's it. So if you'll notice over here, we keep this is all the circles that we cut out. And the reason why, I don't know why we keep these, but we'll grab these, and this is what we use to clean off anytime we're making something. It's like, this is an extra part from yesterday.
So what I'm gonna do is...
We'll just do this.
We're gonna laser some...
One of these days we'll do something with it. Make like keychains or something.
No, I was thinking more like...
God, it's so dry.
Chips to go to the casino.
Oh, yeah, totally. There you go. So that's it. That's how you do it. Now you know the secret. Buy as many wire rulers as you could possibly think to use.
Where they can buy it?
You can get it at mobilesolutions.com. Oh, mobilesolutionsusa.com. Any reason the OEM 2015 Silverado touchscreen would stop recognizing touch? Tried recalibration, but it does not sense touchscreen. So here's the problem. Oh, it's done. All right, here, you're gonna have to take over and hold this. I gotta clean that off. The problem with the Chevy is that your screen just died.
What's that?
Unfortunately, GM doesn't make the greatest product ever, and because of that, these things happen. But yeah, it's got nothing to do with you. It's just the radio stopped working. It's it was funny because
Hot Brett.
Hi, Brett. I was talking to, or somebody was talking about some of the the big dash screens that manufacturers are starting to put in cars, and they were talking about how Cadillac's going to be doing that. And they're like, wow, Cadillac can't even get an 8-inch touchscreen to stay working. You're going to put a 32-inch screen in the dash? Good luck. So, if it's under warranty, I would take it back. If it's not, then it's time to upgrade, unfortunately. We've also found that if you're going to, when you're done, you immediately have to take these out and get the little holes out. Otherwise, they'll melt back into place, and then it takes forever. You got to sit there and poke each one of them out. And that is a nightmare. But it was really cool when we got done building these all, because we didn't bother to empty the tray until we were done. So we had, thousands of little tiny holes, these little circles that they make. A bunch of these, all these little pegs. Yeah, see, now they're all getting stuck inside of this, so I got to pick all those out. But we dumped them out. It looked like a box of Skittles.
Yeah, that looks cool.
It was pretty neat. Definitely pretty cool.
Any reason a OEM 2015 Silverado touchscreen will stop recognizing touch? Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I was not here.
Yeah, you were holding the phone.
Oh really?
I understand. It's okay, man. It's okay.
Ant-Man is installing an amplifier. Audio control amps you guys signed for me.
Oh,
can't wait. Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, the ones that Jeff brought by.
Oh really?
Yeah, remember those? Yeah.
Nice. Yes, I remember
Yeah,
those.
we lasered the inside of the panel. Or we signed the inside of the panels. Yeah. I think we lasered the outside of the panel, but signed the inside of the panel. I don't remember. We did something.
That is awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to see the picture if they put the picture.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
Why not?
Share our stuff. Oh, get your hands all dirty. It's all
Hey, from Michigan.
It's all the burnt shit off of the
Oh, Michoacan.
Michoacan?
Yes,
Michoacan.
Michoacan.
Wakanda forever.
I watched that yesterday.
Oh, you watched, oh, that's cool. Do passive crossovers change the ohm load? Yeah. They actually correct the ohm load. So, if you think about it, your end result is 4 ohm, but you have sometimes a 6, 4, or 8 ohm tweeter, and sometimes a 2, 4, or 8 ohm mid-range. When they design the crossover, there's usually some form of resistors in there, and that is to correct the crossover, or correct the ohm load. So yes, they are changing the ohm load. It's okay. Not always, sometimes. Do I have one? Yeah, so... Hold on. It's like right here, that little white thing there, you can see the resistor. Yeah. But yeah, it's just to get to the. I mean, it's not. Yeah, it's all. We don't have to talk about ohm load. That'll just hurt everyone's head.
Larry!
Is Larry here?
Larry.
Larry. He's the white guy. People think he's funny.
No, it's actually...
I installed a 4-channel amp, but the right side of my car seems to have more bass than the driver's side, front and rear. Well, did you check your polarity? That would be the first place to start, is make sure that you got all your polarities correct, because that's a possibility. Audio Control is making a white DM608 for Steve Mead. Oh, that's cool. I mean, why not? Is it possible, if you have the time, for you to laser a harness? Is it time if you have... Wait a minute. Laser a harness for the Porsche? Well, I don't think I could laser a harness for the Porsche. I mean, you'd need to, like, 3D print one. That'd be really kind of different.
I'm running my Tempo Ultra Passive from an XR90 15.
Okay.
60 watts RMS with sound deadening and fast ring. I'm still feel like I'm not getting enough mid bass. Do you think a Rockford 400.2 will be good at?
What amp is he running?
915? I mean the Kenwood?
901.
901.
Oh, 901.5.
901.5.
Yeah, you need more power. Yeah,
Totally
you could do
more
more power. Yeah. Or just bridge 902, 901.5. Make it a 3-channel.
Mm-hmm.
We've done that plenty of times.
3-channel.
We'll make the 901.5 a 3-channel, do a front stage and a subwoofer.
Oh, yeah.
Works really well, especially on a 3-way set. But yeah, a 2-way set works fine too. All right.
Point 32, 36, same as the quarter inch.
Oh, we're talking about the thickness, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like, yeah, it's pretty close. They just call, you know, when a lot of the times with weird materials like that, you know, it's like, send me the quarter inch. They just send you whatever's closest to it. So, because it's usually millimeters. So, yeah, you're probably good there. All right, guys, listen, I'd like to stay in chat today. This has been 5 Minutes with 5-Star. We got to get back to it. Hello from San Diego. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you go over to YouTube and check out last night's show if you missed that. Change the wallpaper, I guess you'd be able to say. Change the background, a little bit of intro there. If you're a Patreon, you got a new homepage. And that's it. See you guys tomorrow. Bye. There it is. How you doing?
Oh.
Yeah?
Doing things.
Yeah. Doing things. All right, so Boxster number 1 is done.
Yeah.
We say number 1 because apparently we have a second one to do now. Okay. The new F-150, the Porsche Boxster. So the 2 amplifiers are in. We have the, if the camera shakes a little bit, I apologize. It's gray and cold today. We're freezing.
And you're shaking.
I am shaking. I'm sorry. So let's take a look at the 2 fuse holders. The camera really doesn't do this a lot of love, but you can kind of see the P there. This says Porsche, and of course there's a, ooh, there we go. There you can see the 5-Star logo. There, now you can get it. All right, if I get it just right. You can see the Porsche logo on there. Shrink wrap to tell you which fuse is what on both ends, so that if you pull them apart, you can put them together. Way to go, Fernando. 402 is powering the front mid-bass. 404 is powering the front mid-range and tweeter. DSR1 is directing everything where it needs to go. To hide the screw, we put a Porsche logo in there. It's a 1/2 inch thick. Yeah, I know, right? And then, of course, the other screws being hidden by the DSR1. You just unscrew that, unplug it, turn it, and you can get to it. And then the 3 factory screws are back in their locations. So that is all set and wonderful there. We had talked about adding in the rear speakers, the 3.5s that he got from Euro Motorsport, I think is what it's called. So that is now in place. The only thing is he's got to get the factory clips that hold his piece because he didn't have that in there. And then the radio is in and all put back together. He took this and had it dyed. Apparently he's dyed like these and other pieces in the car. So he just took it back to there and had them dye those pieces so they all matched. We also added his smartphone mount into it, which was real tricky because you had to get it in without scratching the leather. So that was fun. You know, he's got the little magnet piece for his phone here. But that is all set. If you, Fernando, if you want to take pictures, or you want me to turn it on so you can.
I'm going to.
Oh, I'll put the key in. All right. You know, Fernando's got to get pictures for you guys. All right, so that's. Oh, you know what we got? You know what we haven't tested? We tested everything else. We never tested the backup camera. I know it works because I've had to turn off the backup lines, but that is there. Speakers are all mounted in place. Replaced. Hold on. Power company coming by, doing useless things for everyone. We replaced the factory screws because there was actually 4 mismatched screws in there. I'm guessing when they vinyl dyed these, they didn't put any of the screws back the right way, so we just went with 4 Phillips screws all the way across, so at least it's uniform. That was, well, jamming. This cover is not here because that wasn't here when it delivered, so if anyone's like, you guys, no, we don't have it. So I'm guessing has it back at home. But there we go. Now, a lot of you guys comment about, like, how does Dean get the RCAs the same length? How does everything fit perfectly? It's a pain in the butt. But how I do it, if you'll notice that hole right there, and you'll notice that hole there, and you'll notice that hole there. I don't like the fact that the DSR-1 has 8 RCAs that are all identically the same length. So that means they're all going to stop at the same place. The other thing too is we all know how I feel about the RCAs that come out of here. So we make our own ends. We use the Stinger X12, which is their X series. It's just a 12-inch male RCA end on a piece of 16 gauge wire. So what we end up doing is we cut off these factories because the factory ends on these are terrible and they always cause us problems. So we cut those off because the end is designed to be high level or low level. So we cut off the factory RCA end, we lengthen them to the length we need, and then we solder in our RCA connectors. And then underneath this panel here, there's actually a hole, there's a trough. So if you'll notice, these zip ties here, that zip tie here, and there's a couple here. Underneath this is all the RCAs are zip tied into place and arranged in a, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then these all come loop around and are plugged into them. And then there's heat shrink put over all of them so that they stay nice, tight in place. And what it gives you the illusion of is a much cleaner, you know, you don't have any ugly RCAs anywhere getting in the way. So there you go. That's how you do that. It's not the easiest thing to do for sure, but and then the other thing you'll notice here, like there's the amps are a ½ inch off of the board, which is what gave us the room to run the rest of the wires over to where the factory harness was. And then we have, of course, there's a big grommet behind the firewall here, so the power wires come down into here, and they'll go right into, and of course you see the loom on this side, not on this side, because we wanted to keep that gray black look that he has for the car, because the car's silver, the amps are silver. We went with silver and black power wire, so the positive is silver, the negative is ground. Of course, they're all zip tied in place. If the tire wasn't here, it looks really cool, but you know, hey, things you'll never see, but that's that. And of course, this is just white shrink wrap all the way over. And you know, there's actually a solder point, which you can see right here, and then you'll see there's a seam. So you know, you cut your shrink wrap down to the length you need, shrink wrap it on, you cut another piece, you slide it over, you make your connection, then you slide over that and hide all that stuff. So the anatomy of an install. Engine whine when an electric fan turns on, and especially after loud volume, otherwise pretty quiet. Ground at battery, DSP, head unit, distortion, block. Any suggestions? Get a power noise filter for the fan. Be the easiest thing to do. Stinger makes some inline power noise. They're transformers. You might need something like that. Also check and see how the fan is powered up. If it's a classic car, also the grounds probably suck. So the first thing you want to do in a classic car or 80s back is replace all the grounds. You know, do that big 3, big 4, big 10, whatever. Put in a bunch of new grounds. And then, of course, check the ground on the fan, see where it's grounded. But yeah, more than likely, it's just you need more grounding. And if that doesn't work, you can always get a power noise capacitor for the system. But I think you should be okay with like a power line filter for the fan. Yeah, I was gonna say we also keep. Hang on, good picture of my nose. Hold on. We also keep one of these around. Hold on, flip this. This is a MSD Ignition Products. This is a noise capacitor. This is for when you have batteries or electrical systems that are causing noise. Anything with MSD is going to have noise, so they make this to fix that. It's just a small capacitor that goes in line with the power. They're about $60. So that's also an option. Oh, hey. Hey Dean, are the T3, T4 components worth the price over the T2s? It's a different animal. And let me explain why I say that. So if you're looking at the T2s, then you want to look at the T4s. If you're looking at the T1s, then you want to look at the T3s, because how they've designed those is the T1 has the quieter tweeter, the T2 has the loud metal tweeter, the T3 has the quieter, more musical tweeter, then the T4 has the louder tweeter, and then the T5 that doesn't exist anymore, there again, went more towards the quieter, more musical sound. So the odd numbers are supposedly for more music, and the even numbers are for the more in-your-face, yeah! And I set the phone down because I was shaking. I'm freezing. Damn, it has gotten cold. Holy cow. Johnny! Do you know how to work on these Porsches? Thanks to you, yeah. Yeah, no, Johnny saved our bacon on that one, trying to get a wire into the back of 911. He's like, you guys are doing it wrong. Go here. They can go underneath the hood. Because we got that stuff too. We got the factory speaker pods still have to go in there. Yeah, Johnny's the man. Johnny, what's the name of your new store? Let us know. He's over there in Texas. You guys freezing? You're in Florida. It's what, 70 over there? No, it's definitely not 70.
50, yeah.
Is it 50? This is borderline no run weather right here. Hold on. Let's see. It's 54. No sunshine. That's cold for us, man. Because you got to remember. All right. Shorts, t-shirt, hoodie. That's Florida cold weather gear. That's like Arctic weather gear for us. So we don't do well in this. Earmark Car Audio and Tint in Plano, Texas. If anybody's over there in Plano, Texas, give Johnny a shout, as it were. You need to put a second zipper hoodie on. Normally I do, but I only brought one today because I didn't. We don't look at the weather. I look at the weather before I go running. Do you look at the weather?
Of course.
But you only wore one hoodie.
Huh?
You only wore one hoodie.
Yeah, but still look at the weather.
Yeah, I don't care. 38 Massachusetts. Sorry, that'd be close. Dean wearing your long pants. In the closet where they belong. My legs don't get cold. It's everything up here gets cold. My legs are okay. I don't know.
I got nothing.
Yeah, you always wear pants, so. Always.
Okay.
All right.
Yep,
Well, hey, I know this was a short 5 minutes of 5-star today, but we just wanted to come in and wrap up this Porsche. Once we get the other portion here and we figure out what's going on that, maybe we'll pop back in a little bit later and see what we got going on that. Doing anything fun in that 996. We got nothing fun going on. This is actually just a Boxer. And I know they all look the same. We have two Boxers. So this is Boxer number 1 gone. Boxer number 2 is coming up, and they're not the same year, so that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Well, that's it for now. We will talk to you in a little bit, or a lot of bit. See ya. Hey, Fernando.
Hey.
So much for going on last night, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I blame you.
Why?
I don't know. Why not? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I know you're like, hey, a silver Porsche again? Well, yes, it's not the same Porsche as we said last night. If you caught the show, this is a different Porsche altogether. It is still a Boxer, but it is a different Boxer. If you remember the previous video, We had the amplifiers mounted here, spare tire mounted there. This is a 2010 Boxster, correct? 10?
11, yeah.
10 or 11, I think it's a 10. I think it has to be a 10. And the other one was a 98. So very similar, but different in the sense that if you remember, the other one had the red interior and it had 4-inch, or it had the 2 speakers mounted up here in the dash. This one is a 1 speaker in the dash. We already have the focal access tweeter in this side here. As you can see, it snaps into place, which I have one out and I will show you how it works. This door is already together, but as you saw, that door is not. So I'm going to walk you through what we got going on over there. And also, if you'll see, that's an amplifier. So let's start over there. Actually, let's start with the speaker so that Fernando can get going. What we got up here are a bunch of random pieces. So this is the actual tweeter mount for this car. Sorry. It started out like this, which we've done in the past, but if you notice that little area right, that little spot right there, that was causing us grief. So that was my design flaw. So on this one, you'll notice it's changed. So it's moved over, and it's actually a little bit smaller, and we have more area for it to stay and put, because as you can see, that little area, that's right there, that was a problem. See, just boom, breaks just like that. We don't want that. This one is a lot stronger. What it ended up turning out as is this guy right here. And if you'll notice, we also added the little tiny Porsche logo. So this sits in the dash just like this. So this is how that's going to sit. It clocks into place and snaps down, and the tweeter's already attached to it. It's physically tight so that it won't fall out, but then we add a little dab of glue onto it like you would from like some of the factory does, and that holds that in place. And then if you ever need to, it pops right out if you need to, or we print another one. This is the mid bass for the door. There's the access mid bass mounted in there. So the factory speaker just unscrews from here. We make this adapter that mounts ours up, and then it easily solders into place. So you see solder, wires all set and ready to go. And then this just bolts back in the door, and there is a ton of room in front of it. This is not, you kind of can't tell, the phone is compressing it, but there's like a 1/2-inch gap between the speaker, so it has plenty of room to move. We know this because we've already done them in a Porsche before. And then for the 3-way set, this little guy right here, Fernando's already added his power clip on, and this guy is the 3-inch focal. And now it's like, oh, it's got no logo, but this mounts in here like this. We do still have to put the foam ring around this. This will set in here like this. And then right here, you'll see there's the Porsche logo, so that when they take it off, they'll be like, oh, this is factory or something weird like that. Who knows? So that's how that goes. So I will take this back off so we can put the foam on. On the other side, I just put the foam around in here instead of trying to do it on that, because that was like silly. It was ticking me off. All right, so let's go over inside of the car. Now, like most Porsches, this is where the factory amplifier is. It's either here, it's either there. And in this car, it wasn't there. We still took all this apart because getting up in here into the battery, sometimes you have to get inside here to get up in this area, so it's just easier to get the carpet out so you don't mess up the carpet. But in this, the factory amplifier is mounted right here. So what we've done is we've taken the Access 3-way crossovers and we've put them into that area. So this was the factory wiring harness. We lengthened out all the wires, and then we added in the 2-channel amplifier that's going to power everything, and that is going to bolt in with the factory seat bolts. Right now we have the seat out, the battery is disconnected. That's why the top is sitting like this, because we put a backup camera in it. Also, the backup camera went in just like the last one. He is not doing the rear speakers, although he does have the piece, so if he ever wanted to, he could add some rear speakers. And then we could swap this out for a 4-channel or whatever we wanted to do there. But so this is all set and done. The last step is, of course, getting the radio in. We haven't started there, but what we got is this is the tweeter wire, because we have to run tweeter wires. We don't have that wire ran yet. We got that one done. We just left the grill off so you could see what it looked like inside of there. Inside of the door, this is where that mid-range sits. Our mid-range is actually shallower than the factory mid-range, so you don't have to worry about anything clearance there. And then that factory, it's got rubber on it and everything just bolts into place, and you have this nice solid sealed chamber as the air chamber for that woofer, or mid woofer as I say, or mid bass. But yeah, so this is just a 2-piece amp harness. Power wire, this is the ground. We haven't grounded it yet, but there are factory ground points here and here, so we'll be using one of those in order to ground this amplifier and get it all set. Fernando hasn't started on the battery yet, but the wire is already ran. That's what that guy is right there. So he'll get that. We'll do the same thing we did in the last one. We'll make a mount for a fuse holder right here. So that'll be good. And then this is a cool one. So if you've ever seen any of the videos we've done on these Porsches, you always have to go over and grab an accessory and all that other fun stuff. I've been doing some research on them, and one of the companies that we talk about very rarely, but Spiral Audio, they import harnesses from all over the world. And one of the harnesses they import is this IXB PR002, which is a smart harness for the Porsche. This is going to give us a VSS, a backup, and an accessory all in the main harness. They have several different harnesses. As you can see, they don't tell you whose it was. They pull them out and they do this to them. So whatever, who cares? We just want the harness so that it will get all the wiring we need. And so my last step is to get those two together. Over here we have, oh yeah, yep, that's the phone. Yep, that's the one I used. Over here we have the radio in its bracket. I believe this is the Metro bracket for it. It's the Pioneer 660 nav, which oddly enough, the two plastics of these is identical, which I was kind of surprised about. So that's kind of cool. That'll look nice up in the dash. That, if you've never seen this, these just slide in. There's little tabs back here, and then it clicks into place. Lots of fun. And that's it. That's what we got going on in this Porsche. Wish it was warmer here in Canada so I can work on my system myself. Today, so yesterday it was freezing, and today it is not. Now it's in like the 60s, so it's crazy. But yeah, I feel for you in Canada. I don't know how you guys do it. It's not anything I could do. Backup camera. Did I forget anything? No, I think we're good. That's it. That's what's happening on the Porsche. This isn't getting a DSP or anything like that. This is a more simpler system, as it were. It's just a lot of moving parts, so to speak. Whereas Fernando foaming the speaker. Hold on, he's got it done. I will show you. So in this case, there's that ring right here where this is going to sit on. So now when he drops it into place, that's it. And it fits flush, there's no bending. You know, you want to make sure that these don't teeter or anything like that. If it, you know, because like this has these screws that stick out. They're the Allen screws, but when I did the other door, I already made sure that they didn't. And that's it. Just put the two factory screws back in. This will plug into here. That's the nice thing about these, is that that's it. That's all you got to do. You just plug it in. And this is one of the factory harnesses, and this is the other factory harness. This door is done, so we don't have to worry about adding in the bigger clips that we would normally add. And then that guy there just goes into the factory location, and the factory plug plugs in. So really the only wire we have to run in these cars is this tweeter wire, because the tweeter and the mid-range are on a shared channel. There's just a capacitor that goes to this, which, like I said, we're not going to be using that wire, so it's not a big deal. We're running new wires over into the dash there, and then over to the amplifier. Let's see. Hold on. Let me flip this back around. Have you started to keep measurements for amp racks in the 2020 Honda Accords under the driver's? No, we haven't. I know. You'd think we would. We've only done like 10 of them. No, we haven't kept that one yet. I'm sorry. Are the RCAs created equal? What's the difference or benefits between the... Okay, so I use one... We did a show, I guess now 2019, where we had a gentleman by the name of John Catalano on. It was one of the Car Stereo Talks. It was a YouTube show that we did. I would go to the YouTube channel and just type in, let's say, Stinger RCAs, and he is the gentleman that was responsible for their current lineup of RCAs. We dig deep into the whole mythos, as it were, of RCAs. I would check that out, and that will probably answer a lot of your questions as far as like what's the difference, what are the subtle things that make things better, and stuff like that. We need more YouTube videos. Miss them. Dude, we were on vacation. Literally, I need a break. So they're coming. I mean, this week is back to normal. So you had the replay show of, the calendar stays the same. The replay show, new content yesterday, new content today. You'll get new content tomorrow. And we're back again to the following week. So, and then we're also moving the 5 minutes with 5-star recap over back into the Monday spot on YouTube. Alpine 5-channel amp versus Kenwood 5-channel amp. Can't decide. Opinions. That's a tough one. So, I mean, I guess you're looking at like the 901.5. It depends on which 5-channel amp you're looking at, because they both make several different 5 channels. The new R6 channel that you can do as a 5-channel is a really nice amp. Probably out of all of them, that's going to be the most powerful one. Any recommendations for custom installers in CA, I'm guessing it's California, that you know of? There's a lot. There's a lot of, dude, just go to Instagram, type in California installer right here and see what comes up. Plus it depends on what you need done, but there's a bunch of them out there. What's the name of Jaime's shop?
Agora Auto.
Yeah, Agora Auto Sounds. And then you have, what's Anthony's shop? See, the problem is California is so long. If I recommend something, it could be 10 hours away from you, so it's tough. But most of the guys we know in California have awesome Instagram pages, and they usually tag California, so I would check them out. Ready for Christmas giveaways again? No, but we might have something else that we're going to be giving away here shortly. I just got a phone call before we did this talking about, and they were like, I know you probably don't want to do another giveaway, but I was like, whatever. So we have something you guys might be interested in, and it's a lot cheaper to send out, so I'm cool with that. Can a Chrysler Maestro be used for a Chevy if you change the pins? No, you need to change the harness. The RR is the same. The harnesses are different. So to answer that question, let's look over here. These are the AR harnesses, but it's all the same stuff. So if you see there, like that's a Chrysler, Ford, extension, Harley Davidson, Toyota, Ford, GM. So what you do is you buy the RR, in this case an AR, but if you have an RR, you buy the RR and then you buy the corresponding harness. There's 2 wires that you need from the box in the RR. That is the data wire, which is the 4-pin data wire, and there's a 3-pin to aux jack, which is the audio connector, that do not come in these boxes, but everything else you need comes in these. So if you had a Challenger today and you decide to get a Silverado tomorrow, no problem. You take the harness that you used here, you discard it, you grab the new one, not this one because it's for an AR, you grab the new one and you're done, and that's all you have to do. You plug it into the computer and you reflash it to the new car. It'll tell you what harness you need, and that's it. Easter giveaway. No, it has to be before that. It's kind of time sensitive. 2nd gen Ram amp rack with no back seat. I don't have one. Do you know anyone that can do DSP tuning? No, I don't. Oof, yeah, I don't know anybody there. Easter giveaway? Yeah, no. Well, it'll be before Easter. I've never heard either one of those 6.5s. Most of the time in the 4Runner we do the Pioneer, so we know the Pioneer fits and screws in. I don't know if either one of those would sound better for you though. What's the proper way to set gains on an amp? I have a CAB 1600 and a Scar VFX. If you don't have a DD1, then and you don't have an oscilloscope, you might want to do the voltage way, which is you figure out how much voltage your amplifier is supposed to be putting out, and you do it that way. We have I think the Lumi video, if you do a search for Lumi, or just search how to set your gain with a digital multimeter, because you at least have to have that. And that uses math and a sine wave and a knob. It'll get you as close as you can get. So yeah, you got to have at least a digital multimeter, or you're gonna use your ears and good luck. If I currently have a Maestro AR, can I use it with the new JVC head unit like you did in the video? Not an AR, you'd have to have an RR. So if you have an RR, yes. If you have an AR, no. An AR is for amplifier replacement. RR is for radio replacement. Get it? Acronyms. But yes, if you have an RR and that's a typo, then yes, you can use the RR with the new Kenwood, with the new JVC that we just talked about. Definitely. Probably. But there again, I don't remember everything anymore. I know it seems hard to believe. I have the Kenwood 901.5 and Temper Ultras. Should I run them active or passive and bridge? I would just bridge them and run them passive. Get the more power, be happier. Anthony's in Montclair off Holt in California. Thank you, Bobby. Oh. What's your experience with the audio control LC6? Like everyone else's, we've done tons of them. If it's the tool you need to fix the problem you have, it's a great way to do it. However, you have to make sure that that's the proper tool to fix the problem you have. If you're trying to take off a nut and someone hands you a screwdriver that's a Phillips, it's not going to work. So if they don't make any form of amp integration for your car, then an LC6i might be the way to go. I would, if the LC6i is something that will work, you may want to think about spending a little bit more money, just a little bit more, and get something like this instead, which is the LCQ1. And why I say that is it's still an LC6i, however, it adds AccuBase, so that steps it up to like an LC7i, and then you have 6 bands of equalization for front, 6 bands of equalization for rear, and 5 bands of equalization for the subwoofer. That way, you can integrate with your factory radio and have the ability to fix some things, tune it a little bit, as it were, and make it sound a tad bit better. So something to think about. If you don't want to go full DSP and you don't want to get like way out of the crazy, like, I don't want to do that. That's insane. That's a lot of work. Well, something like that. It's a little bit more money. Do you like the DS18 products? Yes, I do. For you, okay. 2018 F250 install with that little small screen and put in a navigation. For that, we'd use a dash kit. Probably, if it's 2018, we'd use the dash kit from PAC. The PAC, which I don't have over here anymore. Guess we finally got rid of that. Weird. But yeah, I would use the PAC dash kit. That would allow me to take out that small 3-inch screen and put the, definitely do the PAC dash kit. Because the iData won't work in that. What's better, amp? What's a better amp? The Punch, Rockford, Fish 8, or the new Prime version? I still think the Punch is probably better than the new Prime. The Prime is catching up to the Punch. So, how does Fernando like the LC5 1.1300?
It's awesome.
He said it's awesome. You still happy?
Yeah.
How's it doing? I haven't heard it with the 2 subs. You liking it?
Yeah.
You miss having just one?
No.
No?
I like it how it is.
Okay. Ooh, you want to open that?
Which one?
The box, the 100-pound box sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
The 100-pound elephant in the corner. 04 Mustang mock tweeters. Do you guys sell or custom brackets? No, we don't. I'm sorry. When are the carbons going in Nano's car? Soon. We'll just say soon, because every time I give it time, we totally screw it up. How do you put a backup camera on the Porsche? It's not easy. I'll tell you that right now. It takes Fernando like 4 hours to do it. And it's not fun at all. Involves, in this is a Boxster, it involves pulling the whole inside of this area out here. And then you have to, this is why this is sitting like this, because the wire, there's only one spot for the wire to come through. So you have to pull out this whole area here very carefully, and you can run your wire in through this. But it is not very much fun. But we have a box that I ordered some stuff the other day. This is more just for, we bought this. They did not send it to us, that is for sure, because Snap-on does not believe in sending anybody anything. But one of the problems that you have is when these cars sit here for multiple days, the batteries don't last as long as they should. And the battery charger we were using finally gave up the ghost, and I was like, hey, I want to get the best thing that they have out there that everyone is using. So we ordered this. This is the Snap-on battery maintainer, and it is heavy. You're not gonna be able to lift it out. It's 100 pounds. Why don't we just turn it on its side and roll it out?
I think so.
No, I'm saying like turn. There you go. Yeah.
Just hold that one.
I got it. Here, put this cardboard flat on the ground. Here, lay the cardboard flat on the ground.
Stop. Pull the box. Pull the box out.
I am pulling the box. All right, hold on, guys. Fernando's making this difficult. There we go. All right, set it on the cardboard right there.
It's not that heavy.
I don't know why it's so heavy.
It's not that heavy.
No?
No.
Well, I mean, it's 114 pounds. Or 104 pounds. Anyways, we ordered this to charge the batteries. Hope it comes with an owner's manual. It's got some wheels, too. But this is so that we can maintain the cars while they're sitting here for 2 or 3 days.
Nice.
So for those of you that are interested in super maintenance, head over to Snap-on and order one of these guys. This is not an ad for sure. This is just
They're gonna pay you for that?
No, they're not. I had to pay them quite a bit of money. But yeah, so that's it. Wow. Cool. Are you happy now?
Yeah. Finally.
They were on back order for a really long time, man. I did my best. So, sorry to be more specific. I have a 2014 Ford Explorer with the Sony system. Already replaced the Sony amp with the Kenwood. Cool. With the AR. Would it be possible to switch to the RR? Okay, so I get the question now. All right. That's the handle. He's gonna have fun with this. All right, let's answer that question and we'll call it an afternoon. So the question is, he has this amplifier right here, which is the PXR606 DSP package. It comes with an AR because it's made to be integrated with either one of these harnesses or has a standalone amplifier. You can use it as a standalone amplifier. You still control it right here. The problem is that it is only 2 channels of input. That's a left and a right, because when you're doing AR integration, most factory systems only have a left and a right. They do not have front and rear. There is front and rear, which is controlled in the amplifier through the AR, because front and rear are clones of one another. They're not any different. There's not quadraphonic sound in the car, so that is typically done digitally in the unit itself or in the amplifier. Now, if you wanted to integrate this into an aftermarket radio, there is a harness you need that comes in this box, or you could probably get it from any Kenwood dealer, that will allow you to plug into this and get the RCA inputs, because these are outputs, these aren't inputs. There's 4 outputs. So what you'd do is you'd run your new radio. You'd have to get the RR harness for your new radio because they do totally different things. These don't talk to the same information, that the AR doesn't talk to the same thing that the RR talks to. So you get an RR, you get the new radio, you'd install it exactly like you're supposed to, like you would any other radio, and then you'd run a single RCA out of the front of your new radio into the harness for this, that if you don't have, like I said, you'd have to order, and then yes, you're done. That's all you'd have to do, and then you retune it using the cool smartphone app, and you're golden. So you'd have in your car, you'd have an RR for the radio and an AR, and the reason why you have to keep the AR is because the AR turns the amplifier on. So essentially the harness that you get has 2 RCAs and a remote turn on that plug into this and allow you to integrate this amplifier. So the reason why we have this amplifier right here is because we want to do a video showing you how to do that, and at some point this year we will get to it. But yes, you're not going to repurpose this, you're just going to get a second RR. And I hope that answers that question. And with that, we got to get back to work. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Fernando?
See you guys tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow. Ooh, speaking of tomorrow, tomorrow's the news, guys. So it's been a couple weeks, but he's having fun over there. Tomorrow we'll be back at 9 o'clock over on Dean and Fernando's Car Stereo Clips, the YouTube channel, where we'll be talking about the news. We have news. There's going to be news for there's a lot of news coming out in the next couple weeks because of new product announcements and some fun stuff like that. So make sure you tune into that, as well as tonight, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Central. I'll be over hanging out with Hi-Fi Vega on his channel there, doing high-level talk, or reverse polarity. High-level talk is news, reverse polarity. I had too many shows. You guys have a great night. We'll see you. Bye. Hey, Fernando.
Hey.
Did I grab the other light? All right, guys, so pro tip of the day. We'll start with that one right off the bat because we got to get this Jeep out of here. This is an old Jeep that we did probably 3 years ago. Anyways, this is the third car that has come in today. Today is classic car audio day. This is an older Jeep. Every car, so we had a Cadillac, a Chevy Silverado, and this Jeep that are all 90s vehicles. All three of them, the dome light fuse was blown. Back in the 90s, 80s and 90s, the dome light fuse was the constant 12 volts for your radio. So you'd walk out to the car. If the dome light didn't work and the radio didn't work, you knew what the problem was. You blew that fuse. Nowadays, cars are a lot more advanced and they don't do that. But if you're working on some classic cars and there's no power on the radio, look up to the light. If you don't see it, you know what the problem is. This one had the same problem. That's 3 cars in one day. Incredible, right, Fernando?
Yeah.
Incredible. It's insanity. All right, get this out of here so she can get home. She doesn't have headlights that work, so whatever. Just to give you an idea what we did do on this 3 years ago, just before we go, because so this Jeep we added these 6x9 pods to. We added this 5 1/4 set of pods here. We added 2 USBs, which as you can see now are useless. We put a radio here. And then for the wiring, we actually made a custom, that tunnel right there, we made that out of ABS. That was real fun to do. That sounded great. Bye, Fernando. Good times. Good times, not really. So how's everybody doing on this wonderful Saturday? Everyone hopeful is getting ready for the live show at 6 o'clock. This is going to be, of course, the first day back in several weeks doing a Saturday live show where we get to take Q&A. Although I don't really, giving away a bunch of fun stuff to everyone. Ant-Man show, the amps. Yes, I was there watching. It was kind of cool. Those amps came via Jeff Smith. So Jeff Smith actually sold that customer those amplifiers. It wasn't us. The customer just asked him to bring them over here and have us sign them. So we did. Help Jeff sell some amps, I guess. Hey, from Cali. How's the Access DSP? It's a DSP. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's the greatest DSP in the world, but it's not the worst DSP in the world. The nice thing about things like the Access DSP and the DSR1 is they're great preamps. So if you want to go with a better DSP, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. They have all the features that make for DSP action. However, if what we're really going for is integration. We want them to integrate in and give us the preamp section so we can go off to our amplifiers. If you've never worked with a DSP before, then it's wonderful. It'll give you a good introduction into a DSP, and then if you feel like you want to move into something bigger and better afterwards, go right ahead. Does wiring in your home look like your installs? For the most part, yes. All the wiring in my home is, either handmade or super expensive. I'm actually getting ready to tear it all out because we had a amp problem in my living room, and because of that we have to replace some of the drywall. Lots of fun there, and by we I mean I have to pay someone to do it because I don't have time to deal with that kind of thing. So I got an audio control receiver earlier or late last year. And so I've been waiting to put it in until after the holidays because I have to pull all that stuff out of the room. So I'm looking forward to get in there and put the audio control receiver in and whatnot. I handmade all my power wire going to my speakers from my amplifiers. It's all, hand done, 8 gauge, like way over the top, totally ridiculous.
But it's not as the stuff in the home audio stuff is not as insane as the car audio stuff. It's I do the best I can, but over the years, things have, like, you'll get a DVD player and you got to pull it out and you got to put a Blu-ray player in, and so stuff like that. So plus home audio is a lot heavier. It's because as far as weight, there's a lot of stuff inside of it. Like, I have a bunch of amps and whatnot. It's definitely not as clean as Steve did his. That was nice because he got to start over and just do like a whole, thing. But I really love my amps. I don't think I could get rid of them because they have VU meters and they're cool. What's up? What's up with you? Oh, what's up, Mr. Berg? How are you doing? I saw that comment you gave Haley. Does the wiring... Okay, reading the same thing. I'm pulling a South Alabama. What's going on? Chili, yeah. What do you guys think of I have no thoughts on that one. I don't even know what it is. So, I can't thank you enough for recommending the Key 501. It's an amazing amp. Great sound. Thank you. Awesome. Hello from Canada. What's going on, eh? Oh, that's another Jeep. Awesome. But yeah, so thankfully this week is almost over for us. We're pretty excited to be on that. We didn't go on yesterday because yesterday was just like finishing up the Porsche, and we had a couple little projects we had to do, nothing too spectacular, but we knew today's a cleanup day is what we like to call it, in the sense that everything that got backlogged throughout the week is just today. So it's a Saturday, so if we don't have anything that stayed the night Friday, then we know we're just going to be doing like radios and services and just silly stuff today. So that's all today was, and it was kind of cool. Thank you for the info on the Kenwood 9603, those 6x9s and the door jams with a little power. Yeah, those are rocking. What 3-way crossover do you recommend? What do you mean? Like passive or electronic? I don't know. I don't think anyone just I'm sure there's a couple like DS18 style companies that still make like crossovers, like electronic crossovers, but like even Audio Control, I think, just discontinued their like CS or their X6 and X4, because most people are just graduating to a DSP, and or the radios have, our network mode, or the amplifiers have them. So give me more. What are you doing, passive or active on that one? Hang on. Thanks for answering my question on DSP. Thanks for answering my DSP question. No problem. No problem at all. Hey. So anyways, today has just been like radio after radio after radio. And we just had some classic cars, man. It was funny. I had an old Cadillac this morning. Oh, that was not fun. What movies is Fernando into? Oh, that's a good one. So like, I'm an action guy, but he's not. Right now, because of the kid, he's just watching a lot of that stuff. But like last night, we were going over like what he watched and what I watched. And like, he was watching documentaries on Narcos, and I was watching that new Netflix movie that just came out last night with the robot dude. That wasn't that good, but it's not going to give you spoilers or anything. But I don't know. When he gets back over here, we'll ask him, see what he likes. Have you used any of the Image Dynamics CS? No, I have not. I'm sorry. CT Sound says a 3-way. There you go. So like I said, like the DS18, the CT Sounds, there's a bunch of those guys that make just simple electronic crossovers that are like basically remanufactured versions of everything that we've had since the 90s. Pretty good, but couldn't ever find crossover points. Yeah, and that's the problem. So the reason why those passive crossovers those electronic crossovers aren't very popular anymore, or just not needed too much anymore, is, like I said, the amplifiers have them. And, you get into a DSP, the DSP will give you a programmable crossover point. You can literally just type in the number you want, and it does it for you. Now, if you have like a CC1, the crossover calibrator, from Steve Mead, obviously you can then dial in whatever crossover point you want, which is cool. We have 2 of those. So you can do it, but otherwise you're just going to be like, What Kenwood with GPS and without would you recommend for an H2 Hummer? Anything that starts with a 9. So if you're looking for the best, with honors, thank you so much. Look at something that starts with a 9. That's going to be an XR radio, which is going to be the flagships, which are going to be the best things they make. If you want a big floating screen, which you have plenty of room for in that, check out something that starts with a 10. So they have the 1007, and then they have the 1057. Both of those are, the flagship badass 10-inch floating screens. I have the 1057 in my car right now. Keep in mind, they use the Garmin Nav, so if you do need standalone Nav, it's wonderful. But otherwise, they have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can stream Google Maps, Apple Maps, and Waze directly to the radio. I understand that a lot of people that still buy GPS systems with GPSs in them don't need that kind of thing. Now, Kenwood does also make a few radios in the regular Exelon line that have the nav, which are awesome radios. It's just up to you and what you want to do. But does network mode disable time alignment? No, network mode does not disable time alignment. So what network mode does on everyone's radio that has it, both Kenwood and Pioneer have network mode on select radios. What it does is it turns the front output, both preamp and power, into tweeter. And then it turns the rear output, both power and RCA, into mid-range, and then the sub output stays the same. You still get time alignment, you still get crossovers, you get a bandpass crossover on the rear output. Now what it does do that people freak out about is it moves your Bluetooth to the rear output, which is the mid-range, because you don't want the Bluetooth phone call coming over the tweeter. That would sound weird, especially on a Pioneer, and especially on all of them, where the front output is the Bluetooth phone output. So it does move the Bluetooth to rear. Why that is important is because some people, for some reason, hook up network mode and they only use the tweeter output for some reason, and they never use that mid-range output, and then they call us and they ask why they don't have any Bluetooth sound. It's like, what did you do? And you're like, oh, okay. The JVC, if it has network mode, will act the same way as the Kenwood. They all act the same. But no, you still get time alignment. That's the whole purpose of doing it, so that you can do a nice three-way set, meaning tweeter, mid, sub, that's three-way. Tweeter, mid bass, sub is actually a four-way. So yeah, it won't do that. Outside the wire. Okay, I'll have to ask him. Watching that movie right now. Outside the wire. Yes, that's the one I watched last night. Correct. It was a popcorn movie. That's what I call a popcorn movie. I'm just happy that movie didn't get turned into an 8-part series, because they could have easily turned that into an 8-part series, and I'm glad they didn't, because it was good to be over. Right now, I'm kind of done with 8-part series. I really just want movies, because like last weekend, I watched an 8-part series and it just destroyed me. I just spent way too much time watching it. I can't remember what it was about. That's how bad it was. And here comes Fernando. We can ask him what movies he likes. Maxing and relaxing. No, not really. Thank you for moving my seat back, though, Fernando.
What's that?
I said thank you for moving my seat. Real quick, they want to know what kind of movies you like.
What kind of what?
What kind of movies you like?
Action. I love everything.
Yeah, but I was going to say, you're more of like, you'll take the girly flicks.
I like everything.
I mean, right now you're doing Star Wars because that's what Junior wants to watch.
That's what he want to watch. Yeah, but horror movies, love movies, everything.
Oh, by the way, that movie I was talking about I watched last night, thankfully someone told me it's called Outside the Wire.
Okay, yeah, that's what we live every day in here.
All right, hold on, what do we got here? 10-inch Kenwood radio will... All right, 10-inch radio will at work in a Dodge Ram single cab tradesman's edition. So the Kenwood is a double din backside radio. So, you know, as long as you have a double din, so it's the full radio depth, height, the whole 9 yards. As long as you have that in the back, then I don't see why not. You know, the measurements for the screen are on their website, so you can kind of get that, maybe cut out a piece of paper and just hold it in the dash and see if it lines up. They did have some really cool brochures that were the same size as the radios, but of course those are gone. Thanks for the advice last Friday. The towel and polyfill helped. Perfect. That's glad. I don't remember, but I'm glad. All right, listen, I'm going to cut it short right here. We just wanted to come in real quick and remind you guys that tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that's in a half hour, we'll be over on YouTube doing the 5-star, that's on the 5-Star Car Stereo channel, doing our Q&A show that we do every Friday night.
Really? Friday night?
Saturday night. Thank you. And I'm going to help Fernando get set up so that we can do this. You guys have a great rest of your night, and we will see you soon. Bye.